Let's move on to a serious story now. This is more about Phillip Schofield. This is hung out to dry as recriminations fester over this morning exit. It's extraordinary, this story. I talked about it yesterday, and of course this morning airs this morning on Monday, and of course this will be a new era for the programme. Of course there's been 2 weeks of drama over Phillip Schofield's deteriorating relationship with his co-star Holly Willoughby, and according to many of the papers this morning, it says that she is the victor. Apparently, friends say Phillip Schofield is heartbroken, feels betrayed by Holly Willoughby after he got her that job, and it's worth remembering that. And he's mentored her for 14 years, and he feels like he's been hung out to dry, says one of his friends. Many people are saying, and I quote here, people will be dancing on Schofield's grave, but Holly is no better, according to a former This Morning staffer. He wasn't popular with staff. She's a diva, and ITV had turned a blind eye to Schofield's behaviour for years and years, and few will be lamenting his demise. Also, many rumours abounding. There's far more involved in this. Again, I'm reporting this from The Telegraph. So rumours abound there is more involved than her reported surprise that Schofield's brother Timothy was on trial for sexually abusing a teenage boy. But Martin Frizzell, this morning's veteran editor, was firmly Team Willoughby. Well, I know someone who will know exactly what is going on. Hannah Hope, Showbiz editor at The Sun on Sunday. Good morning to you, Hannah.
Good morning.
Really good to talk to you. We spoke yesterday about this, and obviously this is an unedifying spectacle. You've got two presenters who clearly have fallen out in a big way. Phillip Schofield has been removed. He wasn't allowed to say goodbye to his fans. Obviously, he was removed from that show. He obviously has been there for 21 years. He went to Martin Frizzell, he's the boss, and he was told that the contract, which was due to end in the summer, was not being renewed. What's moved on since yesterday?
So I think what's moved on is public opinion has turned somewhat. You mentioned Holly. I mean, yes, Phillip Schofield isn't popular. But I think now some people are sort of thinking, hang on a minute, Holly isn't innocent in all of this. She, you know, people have sort of seen her use him to kind of get to where she is now in her career, and now step back and sort of say, oh, my hands are clean, I'm not affected by him. And I think a lot of people are thinking, well, actually, Holly, you have been part of this brand and whatever was going on behind the scenes, lots of nasty reports, and some people want her gone as well.
It's interesting, actually. I've heard lots of reports, obviously working in television, from backstage, I suppose. The atmosphere has been very cold, to put it mildly, over the last few months and years. What are you hearing?
Well, definitely between the two of them, it's very frosty. We talked about Q-Gate yesterday. That was when the pair were seen to be skipping the queue of the Queen lying in state in September, while thousands of people queued for hours and hours on end for the privilege. And I think then Holly really had a rude awakening as to how unpopular Phillip and also she was in public opinion. People were really angry about them, and I think that was a bit of a surprise. Obviously, there's been the very public court case of Phil's paedophile brother, and I think that has also been the nail in the coffin for Holly, and she just doesn't want Phillip to be part of the brand and feels that she wants to step away from the toxic friend. I mean, Phil has very much been a TV veteran, very much been a celebrated name at ITV, and I actually think that he was a little bit oblivious to all of this. He felt untouchable, and I think he felt that the behaviour that was going on behind the scenes, we talk about diva behaviour, we talk about rudeness, I think he thought it was okay, acceptable, but, you know, as we're realising, that kind of behaviour is becoming unacceptable now. We saw what happened with Ellen DeGeneres, the TV presenter in America, after reports of her diva behaviour to staff, and that actually got her the sack. So I think what viewers don't like is the fakeness. When you get friendly people on TV, they like to think that those people are friendly behind the scenes. David, you and I have worked in TV. We know that isn't always the case. But I think that, you know, viewers are actually thinking, well, you know, we want what we see on our screens.
Yeah, absolutely right. And there's a lovely quote actually saying daytime audience is like a radio audience. And obviously you invite those presenters into your daytime routine, don't you? Into your life every single day. And, of course, people have enough tension at home with their own families. They don't want any more imported.
No, absolutely. I mean, it was really excruciating watching the pair on screen last week and feeling like you could touch the tension with a knife. You couldn't help but looking at their body language. In fact, it's funny, viewing figures officially dropped. I was finding myself tuning in to this morning just to see their body language and to see if I could spot the tension and any awkward looks between them.
So obviously there's a lot still going on behind the scenes. I don't know how much more you can tell us, but obviously at the moment ITV is standing by Phillip Schofield saying he's going to present other things in the future. Obviously I think there's going to have to be a passage of time where he leaves and obviously has sort of a quieter profile. Yeah. In your experience, do you think either of them can recover from this?
Well, I actually think that if they both play their cards right now and are very careful, I think that Holly can carry on in the ITV stable, playing that nice girl. And I think if Phillip took a step back, and actually, we talked yesterday about how he could go into a Channel 5 role.
We did.
I think maybe he needs to step away a little bit from this sort of jolly hockey daytime TV role. Maybe he needs to go more into a news documentary role. And I think maybe he needs to do some self-searching as well. I'd like to see him actually take some time off screen and really, you know, look at sort of self-reflection, because he's obviously been through quite a difficult time, and to just carry on as if everything's okay doesn't seem like a very genuine reaction to the events that have gone on in his life.
You mentioned Channel 5. We did talk about this yesterday. Of course, there are thoughts that he could be lined up for a £1.5 million move to Channel 5. Of course, Channel 5 very much trying to build its profile at the moment, keeps pinching stars from other networks, Dan Walker being one of them. So that could be absolutely possible.
Absolutely. I mean, Channel 5 is very clever. They've got deep pockets and, you know, they like anyone who has a popular profile. I mean, even if people tuned in to see what Phillip did next, I think they could be quite clever with taking him as a big talent. I just think what's going to be interesting, David, is who This Morning employ to replace him. There's been lots of chatter around Alison Hammond for stepping in with Holly later this year. But I also think they're going to expand their roster. I think we're going to see Joel Dommett take on a bigger role and potentially even Ryland Clark.
I knew you'd say Ryland. I saw that in the papers this morning. Do you think he'll get that gig?
Well, he was on This Morning as a Showbiz presenter, just doing Showbiz roundups. And then he left and then made all these very kind of prickly comments about how people in TV treated him badly. So everyone thought he was talking about Phillip Schofield. The other chap is whose name has been in the frame is Giles Brandwith. He's obviously used to come on as a royal reporter, but he has got a huge popularity with viewers. And I noticed This Morning have been getting him to do fashion segments. So I think they're going to be using him a lot more too. Interesting
stuff. Hannah, thank you very much indeed. Very good to talk to you. Once again, Hannah Hope, Showbiz editor of The Sun on Sunday.